customer homes receive telephone, internet, and cable television service from buried coaxial cables. Homeowners are becoming increasingly dependent on these services and intolerant of service disruptions. Coaxial cables buried directly in the ground are quite vulnerable when left unprotected. Cable damage may occur from the activities of many sources: a hole-digging fence builder, excavation from a neighboring utility service provider, a trench-digging irrigation contractor, or simply a tree-planting homeowner. CommScope has a solution: ConQuest drop-in duct and cable and conduit. Both products provide the cable protection you need to guard against service interruptions. These products provide a tough, high-density polyethylene conduit, factory pre-installed with any CommScope cable. Additionally, they provide the ability to easily pull in a new cable through the conduit if a cable replacement is required in the future. This video simulation will show what can happen to an unprotected cable when impacted by a common spade shovel, and show how ConQuest Conduit can protect it. Cables are commonly damaged from the minor impact of a shovel. This may result in immediate service disruption, future moisture-induced service disruption, or simply poor service quality. The first cable used in the simulation was an RG6 cable commonly used for delivering broadband services directly to customer homes. Two different size conduits were used to protect the RG6, a 13mm conduit and a 1/2-inch conduit. For this demonstration, the blade is raised about 8 inches within the minimum range. Just raising the shovel blade to the minimum range and releasing it clearly does significant damage to the RG6. This illustrates how the initial act of stepping on a shovel can cause severe damage to an unprotected RG6 cable. The process was repeated multiple times with a new piece of RG6. Next, the RG6 was placed in 13mm high-density polyethylene conduit, and the process repeated multiple times. The conduit protected the RG6 after repeated multiple impacts, even as we raised the height from which the shovel blade was dropped. Next, we moved on to the 1/2-inch conduit with RG6 inside. We raised the shovel blade to the medium range, about 12 inches, and repeated the process. Again, the RG6 was well protected as the shovel blade impact was increased. When you increase the conduit diameter, you increase the level of protection for the cable inside, as well as create more room for a larger or additional cable. Finally, we selected a jacketed P3 625 coaxial cable, which is a typical hardline distribution cable for delivering broadband services to neighborhoods. We raised the shovel blade to the minimum height and released it. The P3 625 cable was significantly damaged. The P3 625 cable was then placed in a 1 1/4-inch high-density polyethylene conduit. The wall thickness was rated as SDR 13.5, a medium wall thickness. The shovel blade was raised to the medium height range and dropped. The cable remained well protected, even using a minimum conduit diameter, such as 1 1/4-inch. Your buried cable assets are so valuable, delivering broadband services to millions of people each day. Those cable assets are also very vulnerable when left unprotected. Reduce the number of outages and reduce the high volume of service calls while providing a future pathway for next-generation fiber optic cables. CommScope's ConQuest drop-in duct and cable and conduit are the underground solutions you need for protection today and cable replacement capabilities in the future.